あれがハンタースの副ギルドマスターにして国内9人目の S 級ハンター舞姫チャヘイン。
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Donnie over here with Anime Blinkers, and today we're going to be breaking down another episode of Solo Leveling. This is episode 4 of season 2. It's titled, I Need to Stop Faking. But before we get into it, light one up for our boy Jinwoo, and let's take a look at this on a higher level. In this week's episode, the pace slows down and brings us out of the dungeons and back to the city in Korea. In this episode, there's very little contrast with the manhwa, and it really serves as more of a setup exposition for what's to come. There's one major new character introduction and a lot of foreshadowing that goes on, so we're going to break it all down. The episode starts off with Jinwoo exiting the dungeon. He's reviewing the ingredients that he has for the elixir of life, recognizing he only needs one last ingredient to save his mom before stating that he needs to stop faking his rank. The anime adaptation is almost identical to the manhwa. The only difference is Jinwoo is actually sitting with his mom in the hospital in the manhwa. As we move on to the reevaluation center, the anime cuts out 2 small panels from the manhwa that, while aren't overly important, they do just highlight and add emphasis on the fact that an E-rank hunter is almost worse than scum in this universe. They're looked down on and presumed useless in raids. That's why you don't see many E-ranks. Jinwoo was an exception because he just needed money for his family, so he was willing to risk his life on a daily basis just to keep the lights on. Aww. In the anime, we see when Jinwoo walks in, a man immediately calls Guildmaster Beck. While this does happen in the manhwa, it's portrayed in the anime to look like the man calling the Guildmaster of the Tiger Guild was working directly for him, when in fact in the manhwa he was working for the reevaluation center at the desk with the kind little waifu who brings Jinwoo inside for the test. He also makes a joke about how delusional all the reevaluation people are, saying that they just can't accept their fate. Again, it's a super minute detail, but it illustrates the fact that Beck must have called the center and put the word out secretly on the hunt to be the first to land Jinwoo. Jinwoo is a hot commodity in this week's episode and this year of anime. As next, we see another guild president make a move on Jinwoo. But before that, I should point out the fact that they cut a scene from the original. There's a few guys in the waiting room with Jinwoo. One appears to be very nervous, the other calm, cool, collective. He's telling the other hunters, don't worry, everything's fine. You'll be good in life as long as you don't get an E rank. And boy, that man goes into the evaluation room a top G and comes out a simp, getting an E rank. Again, another minor detail, but it really just emphasizes how shitty it is to be an E rank. As Jinwoo's making his exit, he does so in fashion by flat out giving the hand and rejecting our other fiery redhead, head of the Hunter Guild, who only through a couple minor clues has already quickly deduced that Jinwoo is the next S-rank hunter in Korea. My boy Choi got humbled real quick. As we move on, Jinwoo's making another visit to his mom in the hospital, which if you think about it, Jinwoo really is that guy. Not only is he out here killing the ladies with that sharp chin of his, but he's also taking care of his sister, being a good old buddy to his boy Jinhoo, taking him under his wing, and he's even taking care of his mom in the hospital. What a guy. As he steps out, the scene gets really dark and ominous as Chief Inspector Wu is outside waiting for him like the Men in Black, going on to say that his eyes have failed him and his job is to watch and punish hunters who break the law. Then he goes on to say he's not confident about his judgment in the situation, leading us to think that there's going to be another big fight or something, but we actually get introduced to President Go Gunhee, the chairman of the Hunters Association. Old Man Go is one of my personal favorite characters in Solo Leveling. He has a lot of power in Korea. While the Hunters Association doesn't have any S-rank hunters besides Go himself, it still does serve as the governing entity over the 5 guilds of Korea. President Go breaks down the guilds to us as we come to the understanding the Hunters Association serves as the regulator for the rules, laws, and dungeon claims in Korea, keeping them all in check. And the 5 guilds go as follows. There's the Tiger Guild, Hunters Guild, Knights Guild, the Fiends Guild, and the Fame Guild. Guildmaster Beck is the leader of the Tiger Guild. Guildmaster Choi is the leader of the Hunters Guild. The Knights Guild is led by A-rank hunter Park Jung-soo. The Fiend Guild is led by one of Korea's 10 S-rank hunters, Lim Tae-gyu. And lastly, the Fame Guild is led by Ma Dong-wook, also another one of Korea's S-rank hunters. We'll be introduced to these characters here in a few episodes. If you can't tell already, they're leaving a lot of breadcrumbs and signaling a lot of foreshadowing towards Jeju Island, which is a failed S-rank raid on an island off the coast of Korea that is now becoming a potential threat to the mainland. I'm going to be dropping a video here in the coming week breaking down and explaining the different classes and ranks of hunters and solo leveling, so be on the lookout for that. The next detail, again, while it might be minuscule, I think it was just a really cool nod to our girl hunter Haein Cha. She is referred to as the dancer here in the anime, and ironically, in this particular scene in the manhwa, that's not stated. Although the nickname does originate somewhere in the manhwa, it's not used in this scene in the manhwa. But hey, props to the animation team for putting some respect on our girl Hunter Cha. And with that nod to Hunter Cha, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do me a little favor and hit that little like button down there for me. And stay tuned for more anime and manga content. Blink up.